On April 1st, I teamed up with the Satisfactory speedrunning community to go where no man had gone before, to speedrun the whole game start to finish. To the best of our knowledge, nobody had set out to beat the game as fast as possible, much less in one sitting, so the record was wide open. Still, I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Here's the thing, I had never sent all 4 packages in the space elevator. The first 3 were doable. In fact, I've done solo runs all the way up to the 3rd package in one sitting. Each milestone builds on the last, using one of the parts and then adding a few more in greater quantity. But then they hit me with this?
What are those?
Not to mention you need 4,000? Let's see, one assembly director system takes 80 seconds to build. That should only take us, hold on. $89 hours? On its own? It should say Satisfactory is a first-person open-world factory building game that we don't want you to speedrun. I guess the comments were right. Wait, you know what? No. Nobody tells me what to do. That's it. Challenge accepted. So I set to work. Step 1 was finding a team. This part was pretty easy. We have a Satisfactory speedrun Discord, link in the description, and a lot of people were interested in running, planning, or just watching. Then we had to plan. And oh boy was there some planning to do. Blueprints, hard drive probability, milestones, do we want trains, do we want trucks, is Snoot going to join us, and how do servers work anyway? We came up with a plan, did some practice, and finally April 1st rolled around and it was time to go. What was our plan? I'm glad you asked. We designed the run backwards, starting with the 4 major factories that we were going to be constructing by the end. Between the grasslands and the Gold Coast, Serendipitous was going to make a mega factory for thermal propulsion rockets. Using most of the resources between the Rocky Desert and Northern Forest, Qzart and Smoke were in charge of automating assembly director systems, and Fourth Wind took point on magnetic field generators. Then, as we got close to the end of the run, we planned to set up nuclear pasta in the Dune Desert and pray that the power didn't. My job was simple, sit there and look pretty. Now let's see what happened. Server's making the game. This is exciting! And then my game immediately crashed. We were off to a great start. But I relaunched the game, got back into the server, and we were off to the races at last. Alright, game started! Get your butts in here, let's go! The first hour went almost exactly as planned. We set up shop in the Northern Forest, jammed out assembly lines for reinforced iron plates and rotors, and slammed the first space elevator package just before the 1 hour mark. During this time, we also researched Blade Runners, went on an adventure through the Red Forest, and started a secondary base further east, near the Titan Forest. One of the alternate recipes we were counting on, copper alloy, fell into our lap on the first try. Things were looking good. Qzart finished his journey, made it to the Rocky Desert, and by the hour and 10 mark we had 3 factories running on coal power. Now it was time for the next phase of the run. We had a couple things to take care of here. First, unlock steel as soon as possible and push for the solid steel alternate. Then we just had to produce more steel, skip to Mark III logistics, build a steel factory, and, you guessed it, make more steel. Serendipitous took off towards the grasslands to make his thermal propulsion rocket factory, and we began to lay out the rough foundations of our other 2 mega factories, starting with a big steel and modular frame set up in the east.
Why aren't these beams entering the assembly?
We're all pros here. Alright. Luck came in clutch once again. Solid steel was the first alternate recipe to come up, and we had a healthy buffer of hard drives collected for later use. Hell yeah. We were getting all the alternates we needed. This luck was definitely not going to end. 4 hours in, and it was time to send the next space elevator package.
Space elevator launch
Space elevator.
imminent.
Space elevator.
4 hours space elevator, part 2. Now, I know what you're thinking. We finished 2 space elevator packages, there are 2 left. We're halfway there. Oh, how wrong you are. We're not even close to finished. You want to know what happens later? This happens later. We haven't started any of this yet. Yeehaw! Anyway, now comes everybody's favorite part of Satisfactory, oil production. We got silicon circuit board and continued setting up our factories. Still, things were going smoothly. Too smooth. Oh shit. We spent a while, how to put it? We had a bad day and had to reprioritize a few things. Oh yeah, I moved it further west.
Yeah, sure. I can unplug more of my... No, I can't.
I'm almost kickstarted.
We could just connect southeast, but
I did not sign up for this. I mean, I did, but you know what I mean. Shut up. So we got that stabilized, turned on expanded power infrastructure, and hoped that our coal would last long enough for us to get some fuel power. Just kidding, it did. We're awesome. But we weren't done being unlucky. One of the alternate recipes we were looking for, no, counting on, was steel rotor. Bear with me a second, we're about to talk about some statistics. In Satisfactory, every time you research a hard drive, you're given 3 alternate recipes to choose from. Some of these are much more efficient, and others, we don't talk about those. Anyway, I won't bore you with the specifics, but we did a lot of math to figure out the most likely time that you'll find an alternate recipe, and look at this. By 3 hours in the game, there was an 82% chance we would have found this alternate. By 5 hours, there's a 98% chance, and we still didn't find it for another hour. It's fine, I'm fine, everything's fine. Let's move on. Let's see, where were we? Oil production. We set up 3 basic plants, one on the Gold Coast for rubber, a small plastic factory in the northern forest, and a larger power plant by the Spire Coast. Producing heavy modular frames was essential, and the Rocky Desert boys set up a massive factory that would take care of it for the rest of the game. Pikmin and I worked together on a computer factory, and we began putting together all the project parts for Phase 3. Now I think it's time we talk about server issues. Oh, I got a huge rubber band.
Yeah. Delete that last belt and replace.
Our factories were starting to get complex, and with it, the dedicated server we were using started to show a few cracks. The first issue we noticed was belts turning around. Often, around the time the game was saving, belts would mysteriously switch directions, causing some machines not to receive inputs and stalling. Combined with the fact that we were liberal with our organization, some backwards belts would take a while to discover, reducing the efficiency of our factories. Then came the slowdown.
Working at 75%.
Yeah, both of them do.
Oh god.
So the question is why? About 8 hours in, the machines began producing at 75% efficiency. Not for lack of parts, they just didn't feel like working so hard. This began lengthening the run by a bit, but we assumed it was just an error in reporting and ignored it. Besides, at this point in the game we weren't exactly thinking straight.
Let's get him. Let's get him. I got him trapped.
Monsters, let me out! Ah!
Where is he? Ah! Where'd he go?
After 8 hours of playing Satisfactory nonstop, I figured it was probably time to have a little snack. So I hunkered down in a safe spot, ate quickly, and in no time we were back at it. Sort of. You can play with a gamepad?
What the hell? You can't?
I thought they said it was an experimental thing. Like, we don't recommend it.
Well, I can jump,
it, but
and I can swing, and I can aim. Alright, who wants to fight me? I've got a Xeno Zapper and a gamepad. Safe to say we were taking this run very seriously. But eventually we had to get back to work. We continued expanding our mega factories, and by 10 hours in the game, sent the 3rd space elevator package. It was finally the end game. Oh, I almost got 10, 11, 12. Damn.
well, Murph run, we gotta do it all over again.
Yeah.
Never watched this video.
Alright, now
Cross
what
them
are we
out.
doing? What are we doing? Aluminum. We rushed to unlock bauxite refinement and began preparing some aluminum factories so we could get Logistics Mark V. I also made a few friends along the way. Hey guys! About an hour later, I embarked to find some more hard drives so we could get the aluminum recipes that we wanted. Saren also did some collecting of his own.
This guy's swearing?
Boom, you do it.
Press the button.
There we go! Ah, conveyor belts. Back to the run. We finally got to the phase I had been training for, and things were looking pretty good. We unlocked assembly director systems and began working towards nuclear power when disaster struck once again. Remember those server issues from before? Yeah, they were about to get a whole lot worse.
Host has closed the session.
Well, this is awkward.
No. No.
Did the server crash?
Probably.
This is
Please, I don't want to go to sleep.
the server we were using had run out of RAM, and our provider shut it down. So while the timer crept onward, I had to shell out some extra cash for a beefier server, rush to turn it on, and we hoped that it would be the end of it. I think hopefully we're gonna be good on this. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna
I've run
see.
into this portion of it. Not the server running
Oh,
out of RAM.
it's It's available to join. I just got Cole set up and now can
Do we
AFK
just all
farm
click
overnight.
join or
Let's
should
go.
we?
That
do
is,
that?
yeah, let's go.
Okay.
What's the worst that could happen, right? I was about to learn that you should never ask that question. Doing it if you don't get credit. Uh-oh. Wait, it says draining.
Draining.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I thought it broke. Okay, so we do have to go into like mild emergency mode though. Power issues are back on the menu, boys. Thankfully, I was already at the Spire Coast working on oil power, so it was just a matter of finishing before the power grid died. Shout out to batteries for being the real MVP here. Eventually the situation got even more dire and I had to take a couple drastic measures to make sure that I could get things up and running before it all shut down. Alright, mine is clear and charging. Okay, I'm clear and charging. You're all fucked. It took a lot of work and a lot of help, but after an hour and a half we were able to get the grid stabilized again. At last, we could get on with the run.
Oh, there it goes.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Fucking goddamn it.
Did it crash again?
Did.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I guess.
Why did it have to crash then? Ah! It's official. I'm a broken man. When we got back into the game, it became apparent that we had lost an hour of work. All of the work that I did was gone, and I had to start over. But, I mean, it's not like I had any other choice, so here goes. We stabilized the grid again, and by 19 and a half hours into the game, we started creating our first Nobelisks. Speedrunning! While I expanded our ADS manufacturing, Fourth Wind finished up the factory for magnetic field generators and began sending them to the space elevator. We were finally making progress towards completing the game. This is when we got into a groove, fixing belts, collecting resources, and building more factories. Eventually, we hit 24 hours, and to celebrate, I got my very first car. And forgot to bring fuel. Driving, try it today. The next 6 or so hours of the run were, thankfully, uneventful. We unlocked the last milestones, ignored the fact that every machine was running at half speed, and continued buffing up factories to get to the end as quickly as possible. A special award to Qzart for making one of the most artistically inspired belting systems of the run. Magnificent. As we approached completion of the magnetic field generators, I set up a beginning of a factory for nuclear pasta, and then a wave of exhaustion hit me and I decided it was finally time for some sleep. I set up a perch so that everyone could watch the ADS factory that we were working on in the Dune Desert, and set an alarm for 20 minutes. 2 hours later I woke up. And then this happened. Oh god.
Who is now moving.
Well, yeah.
What a great start!
If you call
I
them-
jumped off and immediately died.
Wow.
Wow.
Hello everyone, I'm back!
Wow.
But the run must go on. Commence factory building, driving around, belting, more factory building, more driving around, and more belting. Slowly but surely, we were approaching the goal. We were about to discover just how slowly, though.
Can we do a quick experiment?
Yeah.
Who's in the middle of nowhere right now?
The server performance had hit a breaking point. By looking at the time a machine says it would take against a stopwatch, we discovered that they were going less than 40% of their maximum speed. At this rate, the run was going to take 10 to 20 hours longer than we intended it to, and we had no idea why. Some of our theories included that we had explored too much of the map, we'd created too many factories, or that there were too many people playing all at once, but we had no way to know without doing some tests. So test we did. Welcome to hour 45, the worst part of the run. We're trying to figure out why the buildings are going slower than advertised, specifically because we think that that's going to stand between us and finishing in sub 50 minutes. The test was simple. We turned off the server, reloaded it, had one person enter, and do the same stopwatch test on each machine. Then, one at a time, we would introduce people with different pings and see when the game started to slow down. So it's already a decrease. But it's not as bad. We did not like what we discovered.
Yeah, so the conclusion was with everybody out and the server just restarted, it seemed reasonable. There was maybe a tiny slowdown, but not that much. The first time I timed it, it was exactly 12 seconds. Not 12 seconds presently. But then as soon as Epiphany joined in a busy area of the map, it slowed down to 16, and now we're back to 28 seconds.
I actually went to an area that wasn't busy. It just had some belts across it, but I
Right.
would consider that busy.
Yeah, at least a different area than me then, I suppose.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there was only one thing we could do. Play solo. I didn't want to play for 4 hours alone, though. That's not the point. Ugh. But when you're trying to speedrun a game, you gotta do what you gotta do. For the next hour or so, me and Evil Steve worked together, ramping up production and trying to get our power grid in a stable state. Once it was good to go, he left so that we would have maximum performance as we got towards the end of the game. To add insult to injury, we had one more server issue to deal with. At this point, the factory was so large that it took longer than 30 seconds to save, which meant that the client would time out and disconnect us from the game every time an autosave occurred. To get around this, we lengthened the time between autosaves and prayed that we didn't get any more game crashes. By hour 50, we had finished 3 of the 4 project parts and only had assembly director systems left to complete. All we had to do was keep the factory functioning and there would be no more issues, right? Crash jump, but then the hover pack is like, actually you want to fly. And I don't want to fly. But I can't. Apparently, the server wasn't the only thing crashing now. With less than an hour left till the end of the run, my computer had had enough and turned off. I think previous me best sums up how I felt at this point in time. Welcome back for another stream by Epiphany. Streamer Epiphany suffers immensely. I'm not opening this door. Oh my god.
Are you alive?
I'm so fucking... We have experienced so much today. We have not finished yet.
His life may be finished, but the run is...
My computer crashed while I was getting the last project parts together. There's so much going on in my life right now. Okay, there's audio. There's audio, thank God. I'm gonna hit start as soon as I'm in the game. We'll get the start and we'll get there. And then this whole thing will be over. I hopped in my trusty Explorer and began driving the project parts over to the Dune Desert to submit them. I think that could go to an awesome scene. What the fucking bean? There's a bean spawned in my way. Everything is against me, dude.
At least it wasn't made of iron this time.
That's true, it did fall over. Finally, after 54 hours, I had all of the project parts, and all we had to do was submit them.
So
The run was finally coming to an end.
Gotta start over now.
Because we have to seal the package, too.
Okay, everyone join as soon as he puts the stuff in the
Punching Satisfactory as we speak.
Let's
After-
go!
Oh my god.
After party in the server.
After all of this,
Heck yeah!
we're finally sending up the space elevator package.
There it is!
Finally,
There it is.
Holy
Oh.
crap.
we
we're gaming.
fucking did it!
Now don't send it, just delete
Let's
the server.
go!
Let's go.
Pull the lever,
I'm-
Kronk.
Beaten man.
I knew
Been
we
through
could
so
do
much
it.
this last weekend.
You did it, Epiphany. You finally finished
We overcame so many
Satisfactory.
problems. 54 hours, 7 minutes, and 13 seconds. That's how long it took the first team to play one contiguous game of Satisfactory from start to finish in Update 5. We did it.
The consequences of your
Wait, they
actions.
light up?
That's so good.
What is
Yeah,
this?
you
Press your
left
mouse
click.
button.
Oh my
Left click?
god. Yeah,
Back
left
click.
click
Devil
when you're in
sirens.
Wait, let me enter. Okay.
Our little fleet.
there. I gotta come up. No, I gotta have a good. I don't have a good song for this.
So many cards.
Oh, it's actually playing music. There we go. Okay. Turn off the other music.
Oh gosh, the
This
music.
is
Okay, where
so
are we going
good.
off? Are we
Alright,
going
let's
off?
get the fuck
Let's race
out
to
of
the
here.
end, baby.
That all mine skill making more
We're just-
sense now, I think.
Alright,
3 left. Gee.
Oh, jeez.
imagine. Alright, goodbye, cruel world.
Driving off into the distance. 55 hours
Never
of
again
chaos.
will I have to
55 hours of pain.
get disconnected.
So many crashes. And all for this.
Why are we... Everyone's
Just
frozen midair for me.
Yeah, me too.
Oh lord. What have we done?
This is amazing. I'm so proud.
Guys, take pictures. We gotta remember this moment.
And that was it. Would I do this sort of speedrun again? Absolutely. Will I test the server in advance? Without a doubt. I learned a lot and had a ton of fun. Everyone that was on the team was excellent, very entertaining, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. In fact, this event inspired us to create the 4Package % category on speedrun.com, and with segments allowed for solo play, we already have a new record in the 30s of hours instead of 50. I hope to beat it soon. I streamed this event on Twitch, where I compete in all Satisfactory speedrun categories. When Update 6 comes out, I plan to hold an event just like this one, aiming to be the first person to beat that version of the game, and then do the same when the final release comes out. Right now I'm preparing for GDQ, which if you're not familiar is a speedrunning event held to raise money for charity every year. This year we'll be showcasing Satisfactory for everyone to see for the first time. It's going to be streamed live on July 1st, and there's a link to the schedule in the description. It would be awesome if you could come support the stream and help raise money for a good cause. And as always, if you enjoyed this and want to see more stuff like it, subscribe to this channel and leave a comment with your thoughts so I can make even more fun things in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, take care.